Welcome all. Today we are going to learn an important concept of living organisms reproduction. In plants and animals, reproduction is important and it is useful for the life to continue to the next generations. The capability of living organisms to give rise to the offsprings which look like them is called as reproduction. This reproduction is carried out in different types in different living organisms. For example, during unfavorable conditions, paramecium, a unicellular organism, it gives rise to more of its kinds by single parent. That means one parent it gives rise to two daughter cells. This will complete within 1 or 2 hours. Like that, insects also they have life cycle spanning few days to few months. Like that, coming to humans, cow, and all these mammals, they reproduce and give birth to a single child in 9 months. So, depending on the way how they produce, either by the fusion of gametes or without the fusion of gametes. Gamete is the general term used to describe the reproductive cells of a animal or a plant. Like in humans, plants also have gametes. In plants, anther produces the male gamete called pollen grains and ovule produces the female gametes called egg cells. The reproductions are divided into two types. They are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a method of reproduction where only one single parent involves and fusion of gametes does not takes place is called asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is of different types: budding, spore formation in animals, and vegetative propagation by the plant body parts like stem, leaf, root. The new plants will grow. This type of propagation is called as vegetative propagation in plants. All these they come under asexual reproduction. First, we'll see about vegetative propagation in plants. Production of new plants from vegetative parts of the plant like root, stem, leaf is known as vegetative propagation. In bryophyllum, on the edges of the leaves, baby plants will grow. Thus, we can say that the leaf is the vegetative part which give rise to new plants in bryophyllum. Like that, we can see the stems of some plants like potato. Potato is an underground modified stem. The stem of potato plant it develops into potato. Not only potato, even colocasia, ginger, all these they are the stems of the plants which grow underground. These stems when they are sown in the soil they give rise to new plants. For example, if we take a potato which is not used for so many days in our house, we can see small projections coming out of that potato. These are known as eyes of potato. If we cut these eyes of potatoes into pieces in as each piece and sow them in the soil, they will give rise to new potato plants. The plants which propagate vegetatively and the part of the plant are sweet potato, dahlia, carrot, turnip, radish. All these they reproduce through root. New plants they grow from root. Potato, new plants grow from eyes. It is a tuber which is a modified stem. Onion, garlic, tuberose, lilies, gladioli. All these they grow from bulbs or corms, which are modified stems. Bryophyllum, begonia. New plants grow from buds on the leaf. Sugarcane. Stem grows roots at the nodes and give rise to new plants. Mint, strawberry, chrysanthemum, raspberry, all these, the stem creeps along the ground and strikes roots at the nodes. So, in this way, plants, by from their body parts or the vegetative parts, they give rise to new plants, which is called as vegetative propagation. While preparing jalebi, but the jalebi maker adds a powdery like substance to the jalebi mix and he leaves it for some time. Like that, a bakery man who prepares bread to the bread flour, he mixes like this powder and leaves it for some time. The adding of this powder to the jalebi mix or bread flour, it enables the jalebi maker and the bakery man to prepare nice jalebis and good fluffy bread. What they mixes in the flour or jalebi mix, that is a powdered substance called yeast. Yeast belongs to fungi. The yeast grows with the help of small bubble like outgrowths, which increases in size and breaks off from the parent plant to live independently. This process of reproducing through a bulb like outgrowth structures from parent, this is called budding. To observe the budding, we have to mix a tablespoon of sugar and half spoon of yeast powder in a glass tumbler. Yeast powder it is available in the market and leave it for one day. The next day, when we take this drop of sugar solution in which yeast is mixed and place this drop of solution on a slide and by covering it with a cover slip, if we examine it under the microscope, the bud like structures from which the new yeast cells growing can be seen. These yeast buds which are growing, they look like water bubbles like this. The bread which is not used, if we leave it for 3 to 4 days in open areas, a grey colored fungus called bread mold develops on it. Grey color bread mold will be whitish in layered form. The whole growth appears like black to black powder or blackish white powder. When we observe this whitish or black powder like substance under the microscope, it looks like this, where we can see a hair like structures which are called hyphae with bulb like structures at the tip which are called sporangium. This bread mold is also a type of fungi which reproduces through the spores. The sporangium it contains several spores which develops into young ones. The spores which are present in the sporangium, when they get favorable conditions, they spread onto a surface where they can develop and grow into young ones. These fungi they are useful in food industry and in preparing the antibiotics also. Alexander Fleming, a Scottish scientist, discovered that a certain kind of mold, which is called as Penicillium notatum, produces a substance named after the mold as penicillin. It has the capability of destroying many kinds of diseases causing bacteria. Penicillin came to be known as an antibiotic and saved the lives of many soldiers in the World War II. The type of reproduction where the single parent involves like this in vegetative reproduction in plants or budding in yeast or spore formation in bread mold, all these they involve only one parent and here no fusion of gametes takes place. So this type of reproduction where only one parent involves and without the fusion of gametes, if the reproduction takes place and new offsprings are born, or type of reproduction in which only one parent involves without the fusion of gametes and gives rise to offsprings is called asexual method of reproduction. I hope all of you understood the topic well. Thank you.